I'm looking for Eddie. Get the fuck out of here. You just fucked yourself, buddy.
Outlaws kidnapped the daughter of a simple mechanic, but they didn't know he was a former elite assassin who would take down the entire gang to save her. Elsewhere, Paul works as a car mechanic. One day, he calls his daughter Beth, who is studying in another city. Beth says she's fine, just exhausted from schoolwork and not getting enough rest. Paul jokes around and asks about her finals. She says everything is good, but Paul notices she doesn't look well and asks about it. Suddenly, a man's voice speaks to her aggressively.
What the fuck are you doing?
Beth quickly ends the call, saying she needs to study. Before hanging up, they talk about meeting next week.
I can't wait for next weekend.
Me too.
The next day, Paul returns to the garage to work. A letter is waiting for him, and when he opens it, it's from Beth's university. He tries to contact her again, but this time a man he doesn't recognize answers the video call. As soon as the man realizes Paul is Beth's father, he quickly hangs up.
Shit, this ain't even my phone.
Paul becomes anxious and calls his daughter repeatedly, but she never answers. He leaves a voice message asking her to call him back, but there's no response. He tries again and leaves another message.
Also, yeah, I got a notice from school about something, but we'll talk about it.
Refusing to give up, Paul contacts Beth's landlord, who tells him Beth hasn't been seen for several days.
Doesn't look like anybody's been there for a while.
Overcome with fear for his daughter's safety, Paul travels to the city where she studies. When he arrives, he rushes to her apartment and knocks several times, but no one answers. Out of desperation, he forces the door open. Inside, the apartment is nearly empty. As he searches the place, he finds one clue: a photo of Beth and one of her friends standing in front of a bar. Without wasting time, Paul goes straight to the bar in the photo. He shows the picture to a man outside, but the man doesn't recognize her. Inside, Paul asks the bartender if she's seen Beth. The bartender refuses to talk unless he orders something. He hands her some money and asks her just to look at the photo. After looking, she tells him she hasn't seen them tonight and gives the photo back. Paul orders a glass of water and returns to the crowd. Feeling lost and unsure where to look next, he sits at the bar drinking water. Suddenly, he spots a familiar face: the young woman standing next to Beth in the photo. Realizing she might know something, Paul approaches her. The woman is Angela, Beth's friend. When he asks about Beth, Angela is uncooperative. Showing her the photo, he explains that Beth hasn't been answering his calls. Unaware of his worries, Angela accuses him of going through Beth's things.
Oh, so you've been going through your stuff.
Well, I'm worried about her.
Before Paul can say more, Angela decides to leave. As she's about to walk away, Paul grabs her arm. Her friends immediately become defensive, thinking Paul is harassing her.
Hey, that's enough. That's enough.
The bar's security guards throw them all out. Paul quickly explains that he only needs a few minutes to ask about his missing daughter. After hearing this, Angela agrees to talk privately.
Can you help me? Just 5 minutes. That's all.
Angela says she's hungry, so they sit down to eat and talk. She explains that she and Beth are no longer close. Angela likes to go out and work hard, but Beth hasn't attended classes for a while. The last thing she heard was that Beth had moved to New Orleans to follow her boyfriend Eddie, who is known to be involved in drug dealing.
Beth? She doesn't go to school anymore. She is doing shit that I'm not into.
Hearing this shocks Paul, but he stays calm and offers Angela $500 if she helps him find Eddie. Tempted, Angela agrees.
That's all I'm asking.
Can you just go back a second? Did you say $500?
Yeah.
Are you messing with me?
No.
During their trip, Angela asks why he hasn't reported Beth's disappearance to the police. Paul explains that it would be useless because authorities usually don't take action until someone has been missing for at least 48 hours. Besides, he believes they would assume Beth simply ran away. After several hours on the road, they stop at a gas station. While Paul fills the tank, Angela tells him he should let Beth live her own life, saying she knows about his strict parenting. Paul asks if that's what she's heard. Without answering, he gets back into the car and signals Angela to join him.
You're so annoying.
Eventually, they arrive in New Orleans. Angela leads Paul to a nightclub where she and Beth first met Eddie. Before they go in, Paul tells her to keep her distance so they don't draw attention.
When we get in there, I want you to keep a little distance from me. In this city, it's going to be better off for you if people don't realize we're together.
Angela looks confused, but Paul tells her to trust him. He goes in first to find a place to sit.
You see this Eddie guy? Just let me know, somehow. Just try and tell me about it, but don't be real obvious.
Inside the club, Angela quickly loses focus, goes to the bathroom, takes drugs, and returns clearly high. She starts dancing while Paul watches from the side. She walks over and flirts with him, asking him to dance. He ignores her, staying focused on finding his daughter. She suggests they go somewhere else. When he realizes this is the only place still open, he reluctantly agrees. Just as they step outside, Angela spots a few of Eddie's friends nearby. Paul approaches them and asks where Eddie is. But instead of answering, the men attack him.
If I ever see you here again, you're a dead man.
Enraged, Paul fights back and knocks them out one by one. Before leaving, he grabs one of their phones, hoping it might lead him to Eddie. Back in the car, Paul tells Angela to send a message to Eddie using the stolen phone, asking to meet. Angela, shaken after seeing Paul fight, grows nervous and scared for her life. She asks what's going on, but Paul refuses to answer. She begs him to take her home, but Paul says he has a place for them to stay.
Can you take me home? I want to go home.
He drives them to a small motel so Angela can rest. Inside, she starts asking questions. Why he won't report Beth missing, why he doesn't want to be seen with her, and how he fought those men so easily. Paul remains silent. As Angela falls asleep, Paul stays awake. He has a flashback of Omar's car exploding with his family inside. In the memory, Paul tries to intervene, but it's too late. In the present, Angela wakes up and sees Paul standing shirtless in front of the mirror. His muscular, tattooed body catches her attention, and she finds herself drawn to him. As tension builds, Eddie replies to the message, agreeing to meet at a bar later.
Is that him?
Yeah. He's at some bar called Excite.
When they arrive, Angela goes inside first and points out where Eddie is sitting. Paul hands her the money he promised and tells her to go home. Inside, a man named Stuart notices Paul. Stuart and several others recognize him from the past. Paul confronts Eddie and demands to know where his daughter is. Eddie insults Beth, enraging Paul.
Sorry, man. Never heard of her. But, there is a club across the street, and she's probably spinning around on a pole right now. So fuck off.
Just as he's about to lose control, Stuart steps in and orders the women at the table to leave.
What the fuck, man?
Shut up, Eddie.
Come on, let's go!
Stuart sits down and apologizes for Eddie's behavior. He asks Paul to let Eddie live, reminding him of their encounter 20 years ago. Stuart reveals that back then Paul killed 7 men, exposing his hidden identity as a former assassin who eliminated criminal leaders.
Every time we shoot, we'd miss like we're made out of air or something. Like a ghost.
Stuart then asks Paul why he spared his life that night. Eddie, realizing who Paul is, becomes terrified. Under pressure from his uncle, Eddie admits he doesn't know where Beth is.
We went out a few times. She started getting into harder stuff. Heroin. But I don't do that shit. It's not what I do.
The last time he saw her, she was with a drug dealer named Tony, known as the Pharmacy. Stuart gives Paul the address. Hearing this, Paul immediately prepares to leave. Before walking away, he calmly tells Stuart the only reason he didn't kill him 20 years ago was because he ran out of bullets. Outside, Paul finds Angela waiting. She insists on staying to help find Beth, saying she can't just abandon her friend. Paul reluctantly agrees, but makes it clear he will be the one driving.
I'm driving. Move over.
As they leave, 2 men lurking nearby begin tailing them. These men turn out to be part of a gang led by Omar, one of the most powerful crime bosses in the area. At the same time, Omar confronts a troublemaker who has been causing chaos in his territory. Listing everything the man has done wrong, Omar orders his right-hand man Mark to shoot him. The men who are following Paul report back to Omar and describe him. Realizing who Paul is, Omar becomes furious. He has held a personal grudge against Paul for 20 years. Mark tries to calm him, but Omar refuses.
Get some people, now. The prince is here. Bring it to me.
While driving, Paul and Angela are suddenly ambushed by 2 of Omar's henchmen, who open fire on them. Paul manages to evade the attack. When he interrogates one of the wounded men, the man confesses that Omar ordered the hit.
Omar.
After getting the information, Paul kills the men and leaves the scene. Elsewhere, Mark reports back to Omar, informing him that one of the men sent after Paul is dead and the other is seriously injured. He also tells Omar that Paul is in the city looking for his missing daughter. Hearing this, Omar becomes even more determined. Mark is uneasy about confronting Paul, but Omar believes Paul is responsible for the deaths of his wife and child years ago.
We have a chance to get him. Right now.
Meanwhile, during their journey, Angela grows curious about Paul's past. She asks why Omar is so desperate to find him. Realizing she won't stop asking, Paul finally opens up.
Why are they after you? Why? No, I want the truth!
What do you want?
Look at me!
I'm not a mechanic from Mississippi.
Paul explains that he wasn't just an ordinary man. He was a former street gangster who was eventually recruited by the government to assassinate organized crime leaders. 20 years ago, he was assigned to eliminate Omar. His plan was to plant a bomb in Omar's car, but that day Omar's wife used the car to take their child to school. Paul tried to stop them, but it was too late. The explosion killed them both right before Omar's eyes. Since that day, Paul has lived with deep guilt, disappearing and leaving his violent life behind to start anew. He tells Angela that finding Beth is now his only goal. He must reach her before Omar does. He warns Angela that Omar's men will try to kill both of them. He asks her to trust him, promising he'll get her out safely. After fixing up a car, Paul drives to meet an old friend named Sam, who owns a hotel.
This is impressive.
What do you want?
When Paul arrives, he tells Sam everything that has happened. Sam knows who Pharmacy is and gives him new information about Tony. Before leaving, Paul asks Sam to look after Angela and keep her safe. Although Sam has long left that dangerous life behind, he reluctantly agrees. After Paul leaves, Sam tells Angela that Paul was once a powerful man known in the underworld as the Prince. He warns her about the danger of getting involved with him, explaining that Paul is deadly and advising her to stay away if she wants to survive. Paul then visits another old contact who once ran a black market weapons shop. When he arrives, he learns the man has died and the shop is now run by his son Frank. After some hesitation, Frank agrees to return the old weapons Paul once left there. Armed and ready, Paul goes to Tony's place, pretending to have information that could save Tony's life. The guards confiscate his weapons before letting him inside. Paul meets Tony and demands to know where his daughter is.
Jimmy tells me you got some information for me, some sort of tip. It's gonna save my life.
Tony leads him to a room where Beth lies unconscious from an overdose. It turns out she was being used as bait to lure Paul into a trap so they could turn him over to Omar. Paul fights back, killing Tony and his men before escaping with his daughter. Moments later, Mark arrives at Tony's place, only to find the scene in ruins and Paul already gone. Meanwhile, Paul returns to Sam's hotel to treat his injuries from the gunfight. Mark informs Omar that Paul has escaped and is hiding at Sam's hotel. Furious, Omar orders him to capture Paul immediately. At the hotel, Beth finally wakes up with Angela beside her. Paul comes to her bedside and promises they'll go home soon. Filled with regret, Beth apologizes. But Paul assures her that nothing has changed between them. Paul tells Angela to leave while he and Beth prepare to head home. Before they can, Mark and his men surround the hotel and open fire. A violent gunfight erupts between Paul's side and Omar's men. During the chaos, Angela is captured and taken away. Shortly after, she returns with a car, and Paul escapes with her while Sam stays behind to deal with the aftermath. On the way, Paul stops by Frank's shop again to restock weapons, preparing for one final confrontation. Meanwhile, Beth is brought before Omar. He tells her that he once worked with her father and that her father took everything from him. During their conversation, Omar notices that Beth is an addict. Fully armed, Paul drives straight to Omar's base. Without hesitation or fear, he storms the building alone, determined to end everything once and for all. One by one, he takes down Omar's men. Inside the hideout, Paul finally finds Omar holding Beth hostage. Paul pleads with him to let her go, explaining she has nothing to do with her past. As he slowly approaches, Mark suddenly appears and attacks. A brutal fight breaks out between Paul and Mark. Despite being wounded and exhausted, Paul manages to overpower and kill him. Finally, Omar and Paul face each other. Omar raises his gun, but Paul reacts quickly, turns his weapon, and fires first, killing Omar instantly. With the danger finally over, Beth rushes to Paul's side. He is badly injured, but she helps him up. Outside, Angela waits with the car. The three of them get in and drive away together. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.